I went through one of the worst situationships this year. This man was 13 years older than me. When we started talking, it was just very casual conversation. And then one day he invited me over and we did a little bit of the tango. I didn't really think too much of it, but then we continued our conversation. I was like, okay, this is cool, this is chill. We start eating lunch together, we have a couple of dinners together. There were conversations that we would have, like he would text me, do you really think you could be with someone my age? And honestly, at the time, yeah, I could. And I would say that to him over and over again. He was divorced from a previous partner. That didn't really throw me off. After we had gone out a couple of times, we did the tango a little bit more, I started to catch feelings for him. We're laying down one day and I look at him and I say, I really like you. I haven't really been hooking up with anyone else. His response, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. Mind you, it had been like a year and a half of us dating on and off and doing the tango. Okay, so at that point, I distanced myself a little bit. I didn't really see him for a couple of months. I'm on vacation. I'm sitting down at a White Castle enjoying my hamburger sliders. This man randomly hits me up at 9 o'clock at night being like, oh, I'm actually leaving the gym. I don't really like our gym anymore. Him and I would go to the same gym and yes, we would run into each other. We didn't meet at the gym, we met on Grindr. So he was telling me, oh yeah, I'm leaving the gym. And I'm like, okay. But that ended up jump-starting us talking again. You know, if he's willing to start this relationship, let's just do it. So I get back from my vacation and I start talking more. I think we went on like 1 or 2 lunch dates. He asked me to come out with his friends. This is where things get super loud. You might be thinking, Tyler, why did you start talking to this guy again? And to be completely transparent and honest, dating in Oklahoma is hard. The pool here is not that big. There's Grindr, there's Sniffies, there's all these apps out there. Everyone has a roster, including myself. I am part of the problem. But there is no real effort to stay consistent with someone. So being consistent with him said something to me. Like, wow, we're still seeing each other and we're still doing this, even though we're not really concrete, we're not really exclusive with one another. So that was big for me. And I think that's the reason why I went back to him and I was like, you know what? Let's actually try this. Let's see where this goes. And I guess I sort of got attached to that. I also made it very aware to him that if we were going to continue down this route, I would be falling for him. And you know what this man messages me? He says, well then fall for me. Fall in love with me. He invites me out to the bar with his friends. I was excited because I'm like, yes, I can finally meet his friends. We're finally taking those steps towards something even more than what we have been doing. I show up and the first thing that's brought up is my age. I'm a younger guy, I'm dating an older guy, like it's the elephant in the room. But I overheard his friends say to him, oh, I didn't tell your mom about your dentist boy toy. I'm sorry, what? So the drinks start coming. I'm sober. I don't drink this night, but the drinks start flowing for him and things start spilling. He brings up that he had hooked up with someone at our gym in the sauna during the period where we were actively dating and doing the tango. So that's great. Okay, now this is like kind of traumatizing me. It gets so much better. Let's put a little cherry on top. And there was a point where this man, he looks at me and he says, I don't mean to offend you when I say this. And then looks over to his friends. Yeah, sex is great, but then what? I'm sorry, huh? I held my tongue. I don't know how I did. Like, I wanted to explode. The rest of the night, I'm not really talking to him. I'm not really giving him any attention. I'm pissed. And he could tell that I'm pissed because he kept on asking me how I was doing. I should be totally transparent about something. We had never established that we were exclusive. I had gone on a couple of dates throughout the period of him and I being in our sort of situationship. We never really had that conversation, but any time that I would bring up something about our relationship, it was always kind of pushed down or just kind of brushed off. I should have left things way sooner. I was attached to this guy. I didn't care about his age. I really liked cuddling with him. I really liked getting to know him. I really liked talking with him. Like, I thought we had like a really great establishment, but we never really put the exclusive title on it. That's partly me. I probably should have stood up and said, hey, I really want us to be boyfriends at this given point in time. So then he ends up leaving the bar, and I ask his friends, so that dentist boy toy that you talked about at the beginning of the night, is that actively happening right now? And his friends, thank goodness that they were honest with me, and I'm grateful for that. They told me yes. And that kind of just gave me the point where, unfortunately, I'm just another option to this guy. I'm just someone that he keeps stringing along for some fun or some attention whenever he wants it. And that's a tough pill to swallow. And the fact that I let it go on for such a long time, I was really hard on myself for. And so the next day I texted him and I said, you know, there was a lot of things that I found out last night that I really wanted to talk to him about. Because I really just wanted to sit down and have a conversation and just, you know, talk as adults. Let's just talk about this relationship. He was kind of just brushing it off. He didn't really want to do it. And he gave me X, Y, and Z excuse. And we never ended up having the conversation. We kind of just left it at that. And I have not talked to this man ever since. I knew at that point it was over. And I had grown this sort of anxious attachment to him. I was really sorry for myself, letting myself get attached to someone like that was not wanting my energy completely like that was sort of using my energy. But I will say that whole experience really taught me a whole lot about myself and what I deserve. I deserve someone who chooses me. I deserve someone who stays consistent with me. I deserve someone who can have a conversation with me about emotions and feelings. I don't think I would go back and change anything. If anything, I would have just ended things a lot sooner. But thank you guys for listening to the story. If you guys want to hear any of my other dating story times, please comment and I'll talk to you guys later.